All right, so going to be doing a mock draft 3.0 after the Miami win. Again, for those who are irritated that I'm doing a mock draft, we use these mock drafts as a coffee table discussion. We're using it to pile everything from this past week, what's going to be coming up next, the weeks prior, trying to develop trends, see what's happening with the roster so that when we get to the end of the season, we kind of have a strong idea of what really needs to be fixed in the roster and through the draft, and then also an idea of what could we possibly hold off in terms of free agency and attack it in the draft, etc. You'll have some education. That way you can enjoy essentially the second half of the football season, which is when, after the Lombardi Trophy is raised, we still have months of football left, which is this, post or pre-draft and then free agency period, which it can be entertaining. You're expanding your football time horizon beyond the Super Bowl, which is great. You get months and months of it. And then you can have some education about what's going on. You can be, hey, why are we not going after this $500 million receiver that's a pain in the butt? Well, because we can get a receiver in the first round. That's what we should probably do this year. You have an understanding of what's the possibilities, because if you don't understand, like you're getting frustrated about what they're not signing in free agency, you can say, well, you know what? This draft class is strong in this. I understand why they didn't go and do that. Does it make sense? Anyway, let's get into it. I don't want to hang on to that. So coming out of yesterday, two things I noticed that are still bothering me. Free safety area, just the safeties in general. We're probably gonna need some help with that. I don't know if they're gonna develop enough. I don't know if you can go get Justin Simmons. Not that that's like my, I'm just saying, like, there's not really, I can't think of anything besides maybe out of left field, trade that I don't know, I can't see coming. So maybe it could be just more of a learning period. Maybe it's better towards the end of the season and we can bring it down the priority list because guys are finally getting used to what they're trying to do in terms of this defense. Maybe that's the situation, because most of the safeties are still guys are from last year, right? So maybe that's the thing, just getting everybody going there. Linebacker is still a concern. I'm not more of a depth issue, and then maybe just having some extra variety of guys in there that can handle a variety of different responsibilities. That's up there. Edge looked okay. Still can be, on the list, top 5 probably. Offensive line, not bad. Wide receivers did their job. Maybe, it wasn't such a vertical game because the wide receivers are still not getting open as much. I haven't seen the 22 tape, so I'm not making any decisions there. So wide receivers probably still up on the list. So coming out, I guess nothing's really changed minus I was kind of happy to see the offense look like, I'll just say this, the play calling made sense to me. There might be some specific plays, like we were scratching your head a little bit, but I can see the setup. I can see when it was time for them to be aggressive versus conservative. The kicking thing, that might have kind of dictated that too a little bit. So, offense, special teams, okay minus the kicking, okay with their performance. I think Drake May looked decent. A lot of encouraging. How about this? Encouraging. Things looked encouraging there. Defense, I don't want to say I'm discouraged. I'm concerned. Something these guys either need to adapt to the new system, or we really are weak in some of these areas, in terms of talent. So that's what I'm going to go after in this draft. I'm still sticking with a safety or linebacker in the first round. Now, yes, those are not high valued positions, but let's go over this. QB1, we got that. CB1, we got that. Wide receiver 1, I'd say band-aid / work in progress with Diggs and the other guys on the team. You still have some developing wide receivers. Not saying we have a wide receiver 1. It's just, it's been band-aided enough that I'm not overly concerned at this moment. But if you have a shot at getting a wide receiver 1, of course, you take it, as with any team that should do that. Primary edge rusher, Landry, Chazon, Keon White, Ponder. There's bodies there that can kind of do it by committee based upon what they feel is their strengths. I need Keon White to show up. He's been sick, obviously. Didn't have a great game against the Raiders, so hopefully he's better this week. Left tackle, Will Campbell. I'm not going to apologize for just saying he's the left tackle. Get over it. CB2, Carlton Davis. He's there. Secondary edge rusher. We're good with Anthony Jennings, having him around. Again, Landry, Keon White, Ponder. There's plenty of talent there for this season and probably for next season. If they don't want to make it their priority one, I understand. Now, free safety would be next. That's where I have the concern. That's why I've been looking at those guys the most. Thankfully, it's a really strong safety class, in my opinion. I don't know if all the guys are going to come out that can come out, that are eligible. Maybe they'll go back. But between a free safety and a bullet safety, you have Dillon Thieneman as the deep free safety and more of your bullet safety, which would be more like Caleb Downs. Both those guys can obviously play a variety of positions like a nickel or a box, bullet, star position, which are not not that far further down. So to me, those guys kind of go 1, 2 on my list right now between the two. Tight end's not far behind that. Probably gonna need another tight end at some point. I do like Kenyon Sadiq if these guys make it further into. Well, I guess I guess they can hold, if they're picking in the top 10, maybe they can hold their breath on him and get him in the second round. But if this is a solid year and there's a lot of development, I could see Kenyon Sadiq being a late first round pick. Also like Eli Stowers on day 2. Right tackle, Malioa. You could probably put Kane Proctor in there as well. That's not far behind the tight end. We can use one of those. And then middle linebacker. And that's going to be obviously Anthony Hill Jr., who is a defensive playmaker. I'm not going to say he's a Parsons or, very similar. I guess he's kind of like Abdul. He could probably make a transition to edge if he wanted to, but he's just too dynamic in coverage. So just think of a really solid middle linebacker and probably the best one since Jack Campbell and the draft. So anyway, went down a rabbit hole. So let's just get into it. I have no idea where they're going to put the Patriots, nor have I looked at the big board. We're still second. Okay. Well, of course, this is not going to really work out. I'll try to trade back to like the mid-teens. That'll help us out a little bit more. They still have Watson QBs on the top. Pierre Woods and Caleb Downs are the top 2 best players in this draft until proven otherwise. This guy can play 0 out the 9. If these 2 guys at the Patriots have a shot at getting him, go get them. These guys transform your defense. I have to watch more on Keldrick Falk. He looks good, but I need to see it like 6 weeks from now. Ruben Bain, I'm sold on. I don't know if they want to go after him, but I'm sold on him. Kane Proctor, again, I'd take him as a right tackle development, but I think he can be an amazing left guard for us if they want to do that. Same thing with Francis Malioa. He plays more of a right tackle, so he'd be your Morgan Moses understudy, but can definitely play some left guard for you if you need him to. Jordan Tyson, for me, by far the strongest wide receiver in this class as of right now. He can play X, Z, can play some F. Plays every snap. Seems like a solid dude, too. He's like one of those guys where like this guy could be a Patriot and not flake out. Anthony Hill Jr. just did a video on him. Again, I just talked about him. I would have no problem taking him inside the top 10 easily, even as a linebacker, because you're going to get caught up on that, but this dude does everything. I'm not going to go through all of it, but go look at his stats, go look at his highlights. Just go watch the video I did. You'll see why I see him as a top 10 pick. Kenyon Sadiq, again. Some of these other offensive tackles need some like development. There's a lot of dudes who are left tackles in this class. I'm just not seeing as polished as I'd like for them to like unseat Will Campbell. Sonny Styles, they have him as a first rounder now. See, like right now, if I could, I'd go Caleb Downs, Dillon Thieneman, and then go Sonny Styles. But maybe Sonny Styles really does creep into the first round. Denzel Boston, again, I know there's a few guys that like him. I'm not saying I don't like him, and I'm not doing like because he's from Washington, but it's probably contributing to it but he does look like a bigger Jalen Polk. It's nothing against Denzel Boston. I'm not saying that that's who he's going to be, but he does. It's just not as crisp. It's not as sudden. There's not as much burst. He is a 6'4", 220 guy. So it makes sense for him. So the Patriots could use a guy like Denzel Boston. It's just, I also need a guy who can consistently get separation. And for me, that's more of a Tyson. So I doubt there will be one wide receiver in the first round. So expect him. If Nick Harbor has a phenomenal year, which I'm still waiting for that. The guy can barely run an out route. Who else? I mean, we can talk about the wide receivers real quick. Tate, no. I mean, for the Patriots in like the third round, yeah, maybe. Antonio Williams, I like him a lot for being more of a Z slot guy, but the Patriots, I mean, I guess, again, if you can get him in the second or third round, yeah. Same thing with Lemon, same thing with Harbor, same thing with Lane. All these guys are right now are appropriately on this big board. One of my sleepers here is definitely Bryce Lance. Chris Bell's definitely under the radar, 6'3", 220. Singleton's more of like a Z slot guy. A lot of Z slotters. Malachi Fields should get more love. That's for sure. He's a big-bodied X-receiver. Gives you A.J. Brown vibes. Evan Stewart should probably climb up as the year goes along. Deuce Robinson, probably under the radar. Sleeper at the moment. Hasn't really stood out on tape at Florida State, but at USC, he was a stud, and he's much more of a tight end in many ways, so he'd be kind of, I guess he'd be like a Hollins replacement. Sturdivant, speedster. Eric Rivers for Georgia Tech probably won't be drafted at 204. If you can get Eric Rivers on day 3 for the Patriots, that's better than all these other ones basically above them in terms of value. Wildy probably won't come out, but if he does, he's somebody to keep an eye on. Greathouse is solid. Skylar Bell, underappreciated because he's at UConn. Sleeper there. Dylan Bell's also another solid. Oh, wow, 333. That's nuts. He'll be higher than that. He might even be a day 2 guy. This is an underappreciated guy because he's from Youngstown, but if you want suddenness and just crispness and breaks, Tom Zach. I watched a lot of him this last week. Hakeem Williams, still waiting for him to bust out. Breakout, I should say. Anybody else down here? There's names. I'm just not going to touch everybody right now. Chase Roberts, he'll probably go back, but he's a little bit older because he goes to BYU, just like all of them. Yes, that is Antonio Gates' son. Anybody else down here? It's worth... Oh, London Humphreys. And Jace Brown. This is like when I was going like, hey, Elijah Ponder should not be down in like the 500s. Or Efton Chisholm should be like on... This is me saying, if these guys really make it to UDFA, like, keep an eye out. Like, these guys are solid. I'm definitely skipping some, too. Squirrel White. He's a speedster. Oh, he's at Florida State, too. Man, Florida State did some recruiting. Bear with me for a second, because there's probably somebody else down here. He's actually not bad. I shouldn't say it like that. He's actually respectable. Colin Lacey. Yeah, like him at 882. He's definitely a sleeper at that. He's a little shorter, more of a slot gadgety guy, but he's a hell of a punt and kick returner. So, Chris Hilton, kind of underwhelming. He's probably UDFA at this point, but a few good games could probably boost his draft stock. So it's kind of a deep wide receiver class at the moment. He's solid. He might be your... Him, Wildy, Evan Stewart, Josh Cameron. There's another one. That's another guy to keep an eye on. Bryce Lance. Yes, that is Lance's brother. Trey Lance's brother. Same school, too. All right, so let's get into this. I already spent too much time just on wide receiver. I know a lot of guys ask me about that, but yes, it's a deep class, but you don't have Malik Neighbors, you don't have Adunze, you don't have Marvin Harrison Jr.'s, like that type of class at the top. And then a few other guys coming in behind them. Like it is kind of starting on like mostly second round type of talent. But there's that second round talent, second, third round talent might drift all the way into like mid day 3. So yeah, you could be looking at like picking up again, kind of like Kyle Williams' value, late day 2, early day 3. So let's get into it. Finally starting. No one wants to offer me anything, so I'm just gonna let's just try to trade. Who do they have? We'll try to trade with like Detroit. Let's just see what they want for it. I mean, I don't care what you give us. I'm surprised. Well, yeah, because they're just going off the freaking board. So let's do. Where actually? I didn't even. Where is Thieneman? Oh, he's at 35. So let's have some fun. I'm gonna skip on Caleb Downs and see if we can do something like this. Because either we can probably get Sonny Styles, or we can get Thieneman at the top of 2. And now we don't have to worry about wide receiver, basically, for the rest of the draft. I'm not sold on him, by the way. I watched him. I've watched enough of him. I haven't really been sold. Oh, there's Dillon Thieneman. Or we go with Kenyon Sadiq. Did we lose? We did lose Sonny Styles, didn't we? Okay, so we have to look at the linebacker class is strong too. I could take David Bailey as kind of that linebacker / edge guy because he definitely is more upright. So if I can get him and then Gabe Jacas at edge / linebacker or Kenyon Sadiq. Where's Jacas? Oh shit, I'm not gonna get him, right? What's my next selection? Yeah, I'm not going to get him. So I have to make a decision. Because edge for me, besides Saka, then I start to get... I'm not really loving the rest of the edge class past them. Linebacker, I can go Perkins. I don't mind him. Whit Weeks is solid too. Lander Barton, although different type of linebacker, I like him. Torrin York, Lewis, Jake Colt. This guy's pretty good. He's a little older. Drake Bowen, I love. Both these guys I would kill for. Let's take a quick look at tight ends. Sadiq sitting right there is very... Oh, we can still get Stowers or Claire. Oscar Delps is a solid dude. And then I think it's going to get pretty thin. He's a good inline guy. He's solid too as an athlete. He's still developmental. He had some injuries, so he's going to get better. Shamar Easter being at North Carolina, I don't think he's going to... He'll probably come back for another year. He transferred to UC Davis, huh? And they have a tight end. He's a linebacker. Oh, that's right. He played some wide receiver in high school. He was like safety wide receiver. And now and when he was at Cal, they had him at linebacker. Hell of a special teams type of guy. He's good at linebacker. He had some decent picks. Great in coverage. Oh, if you want to do my Efton Chisholm / Elijah Ponder pick for the Patriots, that I did, like keep an eye on guys, keep an eye on guys. This is the UDFA pick, because guess what? He can play some linebacker, he can play some tight end, but man, would he be an interesting fullback. Found our fullback already. That reminds me, do they have them? They'll probably put him at tight end. He was at one point was a highly touted recruit for tight end. The one kid from, I think, Tulane is very interesting for me for a fullback, but I haven't gotten around to his analysis yet. I probably won't for a while. So I think I might have to go with Sadiq here and then hold my breath on edge. Man, getting David Bailey would be nice. Nick Singleton would be a home run too. Kilgore, getting some extra safety / corner help. Jacas, Perkins, Dominique Orange. I like Saka, I like Bell. I mean, I guess, oh yeah, Zane Durant. There's a D lineman that can give us some penetration. Pregnon for guard. Where is Caleb Tiernan? Okay. All right. So at 80, I should get somebody I like. So I better get somebody I can't get at 80. I think I'm going to go with... Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Sadiq. Or guys, I can get Stowers at 80, can I? The thing is, I have to get Caleb Tiernan. Okay, so let's just do Sadiq. I'm spending too much time on this. It's not like it's real anyways. Yeah, I saw Jacas go. David Bailey's gone. Bell. Singleton's gone. Kilgore's gone. Everett. Graves. Aaron Graves, good D tackle. Zane Durant's gone. Pregnon gone. Man, this is like they know what they want. What I want. Okay, Whit Weeks is gone. I think we're going to have to go... Either go Harold Perkins... I don't think we're going to get Tiernan, though, again, right? What do we have next? 109? Ooh, Jake Slaughter still available? Damn. We can get Bryce Foster. So, by the way, these are 3 solid centers. Slaughter's like way up there for me. And Bryce Foster I've loved for several years now. But Logan Jones later on. Okay. Okay, I can hold off. Am I really gonna... Yeah, I guess I have to. Deontay Lawson's solid. It's just not the same, though. Not taking Harold Perkins seems like a... Or... Yeah, I keep going back to it. Takara Davis for a corner is interesting. I guess we could have got Eli Stowers that much land. Yeah, we need to learn. Oh, Caleb Tiernan. We win. And then I'll take Takaro Davis as our corner. Edge. Patrick Payton as a developmental guy. We'll look for 154 for them. D lineman. Yep. Bear Alexander, if he's gonna probably go back, right? I don't even know if he's played yet. Lee Hunter's better than that. That's for sure. That reminds me. Where's Cole Wisniewski? This guy is actually pretty good too. He's a big boy. In terms of safeties, we probably should think of Bray Hubbard. He's probably not coming out. I would love Bray Hubbard. Cole Wisniewski. All right, so we can probably pick up another safety later on with some flex to him. I'm going to have to do some deeper research on some of these extra. I mean, I know he's been buried. He's like 6'6", 270. He's a beast. Patrick Payton didn't do well last year. I don't know how he's doing. I don't think he's done anything at really LSU. This guy was a monster at UTEP. I don't know where we'd take him. Gonna have to maybe find this year's Elijah Ponder. Damn it. These guys could be better than I think they are. Just not feeling it. I have to dig it up. I found plenty of guys last year towards the end of the season. Judge Collier is probably a good one. Davidson's probably a nice one to pick up too. Sorry that I'm not speaking. I'm having... Jude here is a good pickup. Still can get Alex Harkey or Ethan Aniwa later on. Ernest Green. Pritchett. Micah Pettis later on. Yeah, I'm not freaking out. So best available might be the way to go here. Take another wide receiver or another corner. Davison might be the dude to get here because he's a speedster. Oh, wait, we didn't get a center yet, did we? No. All right, so we got it. Jeez. Yeah, we're good. We got it. We're doing all right. Running back still could probably be something to pick up, but I got guys later on that the value there is probably better is later on in this draft. What do we got left? Could probably look for another big-bodied wide receiver, like a big X. Is Deuce still up? Oh, Josh Cameron. Boom. Malachi Fields later on. Okay, we're still good. Eugene Wilson's solid too. You know, that's not a bad one to pick up. Oh, I want Lander Barton though. D-line. Let's go for D-line. Lee Hunter. Nope, not really. I'm gonna have to do some deep. I'm gonna have to dig on some late round D tackles to get some ideas going. Let's look at edge. Derek Moore, okay, he's still sticking around. I think I'm gonna go with Patrick Payton though. I like how he moves. Maybe he needs some help, some guidance. I don't know. QB. Jaden Craig. I like him. Avery Johnson. I can pick those guys up last minute, though. What else? We have a couple left, and then we go after a quarterback. All. I'm going to go Malachi Fields for the Big X receiver. Running back / D lineman. Le'Veon Moss. Terrion Stewart's okay. I haven't seen him really play yet, though, so I maybe have to wonder what's going on there. And again, I have to tell you, this guy's at 590. Maybe this is the one I'll have to keep. This guy is hard to bring down. 6'3", 250. They don't do anything special with him, but he tries to do best. He does what he's supposed to do, which is take the ball, run it up the gut, and pound. He's probably more than that, but I have to watch him a little more, huh? But I don't see any value here yet. Most of that would be UDFA for me. Deuce Robinson, done that. Still got some good guys left over here. Bray Hubbard. Araski, he's a beast. Coles Wisniewski. That might be our guy, huh? I do like Bray Hubbard, though. Dillon, yeah, because if you have Bray, these two I like a lot. I'm going to do the Wisniewski, but because I think Bray Hubbard, if he's really being projected to be like a 200 safety, he's probably going to go back another year. So I'm going to go with this, but the idea would be probably Bray Hubbard is a safety, pretty good. But so's Cole, because he can play some linebacker for you if you need him to. This big tall dude's 6'4", 220 something. Super long. That reminds me, where's oh, he's down this far. That's nuts. See, linebacker's loaded. Deion Crawford. Shadrack Banks is still playing football. He's good too. Oh, here he is. Both these. Oh, they actually have him to the Patriots. That's hilarious. So linebackers, keep an eye on these two. Jason Henderson and then Eric Gentry. Both. One is, this guy, good coverage linebacker. He's like 6'6". This guy's instincts is through the roof. Not a great athlete, but just guy can produce. Deon Crawford's a freak too. Buffalo knows how to churn him out. So we'll say there's linebackers have potential. Jake Colday is pretty hard to move away from too. I think we're on our last one though, right? Yeah, so let's go after the quarterback. I have to watch some more Luke. I mean, I've been watching them and I haven't been like overly impressed. I guess maybe Avery Johnson. And then if like Jaden Craig, if he's still I don't mind Gronowski either as a backup, but Jaden Craig has some potential for upside. Malachi Nelson, he's another guy to keep an eye on for development. He hasn't really settled. Haynes King. So maybe, and Connor Weigman, I would just UDFA these guys if they were available. So maybe we could do some best available. Should I take this guy? I don't know. I'm not going to do that. What do we need help with? We got 2 wide receivers, 2 offensive linemen, got a tight end, maybe an inline blocking tight end. I don't see one. The one, what's his face from Michigan, Klein. Yeah, I would put him, but he would be UDFA as a potential fullback. Yeah. All right, so I'm running out of. Oh, what about what's his face from not Michigan? Hold on a second. Nope. But he's on there for me. He actually. Hold on. Why am I blinking on his name? Shoot. He's not in here, or he already got drafted. And I'm blinking on his actual name. And I can't remember what school. If I saw his name, I could recognize it. Forget it. I'd have to watch him more, but if we're just gonna get D tackle late in the round, I know it's gonna grade me terrible, but I'd go after Lee Hunter. Yeah, unrealistic. Obviously we wouldn't take. I mean, I guess trading back to get if you can trade back and get Jordan Tyson, you win. And get Dillon Thieneman and Kenan Sadiq. I hope that's what they can do this year, because like let's have that discussion. I mean, if you get Jordan Tyson, it's because essentially you're saying Diggs didn't develop anymore towards the end of the year, and you need to get a guy who can develop into that wide receiver one, and you're hoping Booty and Pop and Kyle Williams and these other guys did develop a little bit, so you can take, like, you if you have to move on for Diggs or maybe take another receiver next year, you can bring in Tyson and start to have him work in terms of rotations of maybe, I mean, I guess in the first round you're expecting him to be out there every snap, but working variety of different alignments and hopefully developing into that wide receiver one in the next couple years. Dillon Thieneman, I've gone over it. I'll say it again. If he's up there at 33, that's a steal. If he makes it to day 2, say you draft, I mean, maybe it would be a situation where it's getting down towards the end of the first and there's somebody who's willing to come out of the first, go up to get him, I'd do it. Sadiq, the more I see him, the more I'm impressed. It's going to be important, I guess, how he plays in the playoffs. But we'll see. Harold Perkins, kind of, the thing is like, he is kind of Peppers. So I got him because I feel like you just need to get some of the athleticism at that linebacker level. But it's like, if you got rid of Peppers, you're getting it. Harold Perkins is kind of a Peppers guy. So maybe that's a miscast. Caleb Tiernan, I've done enough on him. Probably, again, I think he could be a late first-round tackle for some teams. Obviously not for the Patriots. The Patriots would have to wait for day 2 for him. But, yeah, I mean, if it really came down to it, I probably would have taken him over Harold Perkins if the offensive line doesn't look really great this year. But for me, I'm looking at the fact that the Patriots need help at linebacker, and I think Harold Perkins would at least be an upgrade at over one of those guys. DeCaro Davis, long, lengthy corner, be great insurance if Gonzo just continues to be an injury issue. Bryce Foster, one of your best centers this year. Getting him at 115 would be a steal. Lander Barton, full-service linebacker, can be your green dot of the future if you need him to be. Patrick Payton would be upside edge guy. Didn't do great last year at FSU, nor did anybody. I don't know how he's done this year at LSU. I haven't looked at his stats. Haven't really heard too much from him. That's probably why he's at 189. He'd be, kind of like a Swinson situation, which is hopefully, he takes the coaching, gets the system, and you get something out of him. Malachi Fields, big X wide receiver from Notre Dame. He will not be at 193, but, just to put his name on the board for us, keep an eye on him. I'm not saying he's ultra skilled, but if you're somebody who likes, Nick Harbor's a little bit more of an athletic freak, but if you're willing to get like Nick Harbor on day 2 or even think about him at day 1, you should be definitely considering Malachi Fields, although not as an amazing athlete, still an amazing X. Big physical tight end that is good at deep balls, contested catch situations, and is decent enough in terms of running his routes. Not nuanced, but developmental for sure. Cole Wisniewski can play some will linebacker as well as safety, covers a lot of ground, definitely would have some work on special teams, but could have some spots for him on rotationally on defense. And Lee Hunter, he's not going to, 227 might be where Lee Hunter gets drafted, so I think that's fair. But he would be your D tackle that can bring some extra juice up the middle, would fit the Patriots scheme right now. Anyway, I think that's a great draft. The takeaway in terms of besides you guys seeing the names, would be this is where I'm kind of seeing the Patriots kind of focusing, and what's new for me, which is, if I can get a shot at Jordan Tyson at 12, assuming that's where the Patriots are going to draft, it'd be pretty hard to pass him up. I'm telling you, as some of the guys that have that high level of talent, Jordan Tyson as a person, as I've done some research on him personally and watched enough of his interviews, he gives me like a guy that could be a alpha 1 type, but could survive in New England, which means that is something. That is a concern, is finding wide receivers that have that skill set that could come and play in New England and live in New England. I think Jordan Tyson has that potential. All right, I hope this was at least fun. Again, throwing out some new names for you guys to take a look at. I'll try to do some new ones the next time. Looking ahead, hoping to see some improvements in that secondary. Hopefully Gonzo's back, so maybe the safeties look a little bit more under, have a little bit less responsibilities. And, maybe the linebackers can tackle this week. And some of the improvements we're seeing on the offensive side, take another step forward and not back. Anyway, what do you guys think? You guys know of these guys or anybody else that I missed? Let me know. If you guys like this content, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.